From the Massachusetts Broadcasters Station of the Year, this is Western Mass News at 6 p.m.
We've now also put capacity limits on our break room.
It's a story you'll see only here on Western Mass News. A cluster of COVID-19 cases reported among employees at Holyoke Medical Center.
Springfield police are seeing an increase in excessive noise on the streets. I'm Audrey Russo, and coming up, why both legal and illegal vehicles are to blame.
Also, Congressman Richard Neal speaks with Western Mass News what the chair of the House Ways and Means Committee is now saying about another possible round of stimulus checks. Developing tonight, Western Mass News has learned several employees at Holyoke Medical Center are recovering from COVID-19. Welcome to Western Mass News at 6, everyone. I'm Chris Pisano. The CEO of that hospital believes the outbreak is linked to employees taking their lunch break together. A Western Mass News reporter, Sarah Granelli, joins us live in Springfield with exclusive details. Sarah?
Chris, I spoke with the CEO who tells me that this was the first time a cluster of employees came down with the coronavirus. More than a dozen employees at Holyoke Medical Center are on the road to recovery after testing positive for the coronavirus. CEO Spiros Hatiras tells Western Mass News 15 employees tested positive about 2 weeks ago.
We think we've traced it back to employees eating a meal together in the break room. And obviously, you know, when you eat a meal, you take your mask off, and being contracted it from one employee who was positive.
Many have heard of coronavirus fatigue, where people become lax about wearing personal protective equipment. Holyoke Medical Center is making sure their employees continue to follow COVID-19 safety precautions by putting new rules in place.
We want to make sure that people interpret the guidelines appropriately. What you find sometimes with this fatigue is that 6 feet sometimes become 5 feet, and then sometimes 4 feet. We've now also put capacity limits on our break room.
He says 2 of the employees came back to work on Monday. The rest are still at home. This comes as Holyoke is one of 7 communities considered high risk in Western Mass on the latest state COVID-19 risk map. In an effort to slow the spread of the coronavirus, the state is sending out a phone alert to high-risk communities Monday night between 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's similar to an Amber Alert and encourages people to do their part to stop the spread. As for Hatiras, he says the hospital will continue to serve the community in a safe way.
The important thing is that we continue to be vigilant. Holyoke Medical Center is one of the safest places to be. You know, we've done a great job here responding to the pandemic, and people should feel comfortable to continue using the Holyoke Medical Center.
And the CEO says anyone who may have come in contact with those employees have already been contacted. Live in Springfield, I'm Sarah Granelli for Western Mass News.
All the signs are pointing towards a second surge of patients needing care over the next few months.
Also developing today, Dr. Robert Roos, the Chief Medical Officer for Mercy Medical Center, says Massachusetts appears to be now entering a second wave of COVID-19. Just about 30 minutes ago, your phone probably sent out an emergency alert. Now, if it didn't, or rather if it did, you're not alone. The state issuing that wireless emergency alert in several COVID-19 high-risk communities, including Springfield and Holyoke. The public safety alert calling COVID-19 a serious threat and reminding everyone to stay home if you're feeling sick and get a free COVID test. Here's a look at today's numbers of COVID-19 cases. So far, the state reporting 1,216 new cases, so that brings the total number to just over 148,000. There were also 17 more deaths reported today. The statewide death toll stands at 9,657. New tonight, the Trump administration says it's ramping up distribution of rapid coronavirus tests all across the country. 37 million Binax, now antigen tests, are set to be shipped out before the end of the week. More than 2 million are being sent right now here to Massachusetts. Abbott Laboratories, which developed the test, says it delivers results in just 15 minutes. The Department of Health and Human Services points out that more testing does not replace public health guidelines, including wearing masks and washing hands often. It's a story Western Mass News continues to follow in the city of Springfield as police are cracking down on a quality of life issue involving excessive noise in some neighborhoods, which is a common nemesis that's rearing its head once again. Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo joins us live in Springfield to explain. Audrey?
Springfield police say that some of that excessive noise is coming from modified mufflers and exhausts on cars and motorcycles. But they also say that they're seeing some excessive noise coming from illegal dirt bike riders.
The areas we concentrated on were downtown in the north end and a little bit of the south end, lower south end. That's where the most complaints were coming from.
Over a few days, Springfield police say they were able to nab more than a dozen people making excessive noise on the streets with motorcycles, cars, and illegal dirt bikes. Police tell Western Mass News the problem comes from altered exhausts and mufflers. Aside from being a nuisance, the loud noise is bleeding into their patrol work.
Our problem with the dirt bikes is they're starting to alter the exhausts to set off ShotSpotter, which is bad in that we're going to ShotSpotter, which is good, and that we're finding where the dirt bikes are.
But confiscating illegal dirt bikes is one thing. The street legal cars and motorcycles are another. Combined in one weekend,
11 citations and 2 criminal complaints.
Springfield Police Commissioner Cheryl Clapprood says those citations could result in fines of $100 each. But the criminal complaints, city officials say, are sent to the Registry of Motor Vehicles. Officials there could call the reported noisemaker in for an inspection to ensure their mufflers and exhaust aren't violating safety standards.
And in essence, we're trying to save them from getting hurt too. But they want to be in your face. Whether you're walking, whether you're in a vehicle, a police officer, they don't care. They'll go right at the vehicle.
As for why the problem is getting worse,
my guess is pandemic exhaustion, time on their hands. People are out, creating their own entertainment in their own environment. And unfortunately for one segment, this means how can we drive the police crazy?
Springfield police have said in the past that dirt bikes are illegal for the streets because their tires are not meant to grip the asphalt in the way that they're meant to grip dirt, making them more prone to sliding. And the concern is that they'll slide into traffic, creating a serious public safety hazard. Live in Springfield, Audrey Russo for Western Mass News.
Audrey, thank you for that live report. It is the start of a new week, and it appears there is some movement in the right direction to reach an agreement on a stimulus deal in Washington. Western Mass News reporter Lindsay Kane joins us live in Springfield after catching up with Congressman Richard Neal. Lindsay, what did he have to say?
Well, Chris, Congressman Neal told me he thinks it's possible for the House and Senate to reach an agreement by Election Day. Now, with just over a week to go until the presidential election, all eyes are on legislatures as time is of the essence for families waiting on stimulus checks to arrive at their doors. Talks have been on and off for months over a new COVID-19 relief package, but Congressman Neal tells Western Mass News he believes approval is right around the corner.
We are there in terms of the broad agreement of what has to be done. I think that the Senate has taken a contrary position. It's interesting that the President and the Speaker of the House, while they don't exactly see eye to eye on a lot, they have agreed on the size of the package, another round of checks.
He says he thinks reaction will be favorable and thinks there could be a vote right after the election. Congressman Neal stressed the need for a new stimulus package as COVID-19 is starting to surge across the nation, impacting many families across the country and here in Western Mass. Live in Springfield, Lindsay Kane, Western Mass News.
Lindsay, thank you for that live report. We are just over 1 week away from election night, and our very own Dave Mattson will be back hosting our special digital coverage. That kicks off at 8 p.m. on November 3rd. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and download our free Western Mass News streaming app so you don't miss a minute of the action.
We are still dealing with cloudy skies out there. The sun is now set, so visibilities might actually start to drop a little bit. We do still have breezes coming in out of the northwest, but wind expected to shift more southerly in the next few hours. That cloud base will probably descend a little bit lower, maybe some drizzle or mist. It's cool right now. We're at 48 degrees. We've been stuck in the 40s all day, but we're expecting temperatures to climb just a few degrees as that wind shifts. Right now, visibilities aren't terrible. They're a little worse out through central and southern Berkshire counties, so if you're out in that area, just make sure you travel with caution. 40s widespread right now. Palmer, the warm spot, up to about 50. We might get there if we're lucky. Our cold front is back off to the north and west. It'll be swinging through overnight, so we're going to stay cloudy with the chance of a shower, the chance of a few sprinkles or some drizzle. Temperatures will rise to the 50s and then drop back down to the upper 40s by sunrise. Your morning outlook, not too bad. It is going to be damp outside tomorrow morning, but temperatures actually a little bit warmer than they should be for this time of year. However, we are looking at a bit of a brighter day tomorrow. Some sunshine breaking through, highs back into the middle 50s. Big changes coming our way for the end of the week with a potent storm system. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. Chris?
Jenna, thank you. Also coming up on this Monday, the battle against coronavirus heating up. A Connecticut school district launching a new program aimed at stopping the spread. Plus, airports struggling as the pandemic wears on. How Logan Airport is planning to tackle the challenge while keeping its passengers safe.